Hey, you're here with Dr. Jodi, and this is season 4 of Anxiety. I'm so done with you. This podcast is a teen and a young adult guide to ditching toxic stress and hardwiring your brain for happiness. If you're new here, grab a copy of my book, Anxiety. I'm so done with you, because this series goes section by section through the book, going a little bit deeper, giving more examples, and telling more stories. In this season, which follows along with Chapter 4, we are finally focusing on you making peace with yourself. Because you can't get rid of anxiety when you're still being your own worst critic. And you know what I mean. You have been your own worst critic. And you don't deserve that. You deserve kindness, compassion, and forgiveness. And in this season, I'm going to give you the practical tools on how to do that with yourself. Thank you so much for listening, subscribing, and leaving me 5 stars on Apple Podcasts. Please spread the word about this book and series, because mental health problems have dire consequences that cause more and more pain to young people, their families, and their communities. And I need you to help me turn the tide by sharing these tips for embracing self-love. Welcome to Season 4, Episode 5, which accompanies Chapter 4, Section 5, Embrace a Positive Mental Attitude. In this episode, we'll discuss the benefits of a positive mental attitude, how making meaning is one of the most powerful skills that you have, and how attitude and perspective can transform not only your life, but it can change the world. Okay, there are 2 contexts that affect both your physical and mental health: your physical context and your mental context. Your physical context powerfully influences your life. Of course it does. Feeling secure, having people around you who lift you up, having food and a warm shelter supports your body's thriving. However, life is hard and we don't have all of those things every day. We sometimes don't even have one of them. While your mental context is significantly impacted during challenging times, it could also help you survive them. Humans are storytellers. We create stories out of our inner and outer life experiences. You have many stories about yourself and your life. Some are benign, like I brush my teeth every day. Others are precious, like I'm close to my grandmother. And still others are quite negative, like I'm a loser. These sound like statements, but they're actually stories. A lot of lived experience, evidence, and memories construct each of them. You have countless stories about yourself. You're a sibling, a musician, a candy lover, a skater, a writer, a student, and so many more things. In these examples, do you see how the stories that you have about yourself become your very identity? That is good when the stories are ones that you approve of and not when they are diminishing of the person that you want to be. The stories that you have about yourself build themselves around themes and then form beliefs. For example, if 2 separate classmates bullied you in 4th and 8th grade, your mind would lump them together around the theme of being a target of bullies. Those 2 stories around this theme garner more significance together than they would have separately. You then form the belief that maybe you allowed it or deserved it because you are a weakling. You could take the exact words that they used to hurt you and start believing those things about yourself. What's worse is that those beliefs, which were just ideas, soon become the assumed truth about who you are. They are not the truth, but they get to hold a truth status in your mind. And that could last for a long time after the bullies are gone from your life. Then these constructed stories become a lens through which you understand and make meaning about future experiences. So someone could look at you funny and it takes you right back to 4th grade. Also, a lot of things happen to you all the time, and some of those are even good. But the one experience that matches the story about you being bullied will stand out and can render the good stuff invisible. I mean, you would know the good things happen cognitively, but they wouldn't stick to you. Imagine thousands of thoughts going through your mind each day. And it's as if the few that are scary, disturbing, familiar, upsetting, or weird light up. Some are hard to ignore because they are practically flashing neon red, so you pull them into your consciousness. And that's when the monkey starts cooking with gas. The negative thought is causing inner chaos, and you urgently desire to restore order in the mind. And that means you have to make sense of the thought by giving them more meaning. Remember, this is an example about nonsense two bullies said years ago because of those bullies' misery in their life. And here you are now asking yourself, why am I thinking this? There must be a reason I'm thinking this. Here are some options that the monkey might come up with. Perhaps I didn't heal this. I can't believe I'm still holding on to that. I am so broken. Maybe I deserved it. I can't believe I let that happen. Only crazy people would still be thinking about this. I think I have PTSD. Maybe I have dissociative identity disorder. If one of your ideas about why you are thinking negative thoughts stick, it becomes part of the overarching story, forming more beliefs about the world and about who you are. And again, these beliefs become the lens through which you understand future experiences. This book section is on having a positive mental attitude, and you may wonder why I give an example of a negative attitude. I do have a point. I'm interested in your understanding of why and how easily beliefs are constructed and what feeds them so that you could shift the process. Did you ever hear the tale of two wolves accredited to a Cherokee elder? Here it is. The tale of two wolves. One evening, an old Cherokee told his grandson about a battle that goes on inside people. He said, "My son, the battle is between two wolves inside us. One is evil. It is anger, envy, jealousy, sorrow, regret, greed, arrogance, self-pity, guilt, resentment, inferiority, lies, false pride, superiority, and ego. The other is good. It is joy, peace, love, hope, serenity, humility, kindness, benevolence, empathy, generosity, truth, compassion, and faith." The grandson thought about it for a minute and then asked his grandfather, "Which wolf wins?" The old Cherokee simply replied, "The one that you feed." So how do you feed a positive mental attitude without leaning too far into toxic positivity territory? Keep in mind there are always thousands of thoughts in your mind. The ones with flashing lights are those that you have given meaning to. Maybe this is unconscious at first. It's your reptilian brain trying to protect you. But then they increase your stress. They create efficient neural pathways to this line of thinking and feeling. They overflow and upset the people around you or cause you to isolate yourself. None of these are helpful, and they all cause pain. This is what I want you to remember. You have a mammalian brain that can override the reptilian brain. By consciously and repetitively taking yourself in a different direction, you could decrease your stress, enjoy being around people again, change your neural pathways, and ease the view of yourself and others. It might seem like a huge challenge to change beliefs, as if it's the hardest thing that I could tell you to do. But ask yourself, where did you get the idea that it was hard? Hard is just a meaning that has been given to the process. What if I said that changing beliefs is an easy thing to do? Really, this is the thing. You have 100% of control over changing your beliefs. You don't need to convince anyone else. It's just you that you have to worry about. How many things in your life is that the case for? When you think something is hard, it is for real hard. But when you start to think, "I'm not sure if this will be hard or easy, let me experiment with it and see," you loosen up the construction. And I love thinking about it as an experiment. When you think of it as an experiment instead of a goal, you cannot fail. Experimenting is a sweet spot without the pressure to succeed that you'll rebel against, and with enough interest in the results to motivate you. I'm going to pause for a moment here, first to remind you that if you are overwhelmed by negativity, get some help. Find an adult that you could trust. Second, I wanted to let you know that I made an animated video called How to Think About Your Thoughts that I put in the blog post for this episode. The link is in the show notes. And third, if you're feeling hopeless, the next episode is about finding hope, so please make some time to listen to that next. Okay, back to the benefits of a positive mental attitude. The biggest perk is that you are in the driver's seat of your mind. You control your inner sanctum, which will in turn affect your life. Yes, things will still happen to you, and yes, they will affect you, but you get to make meaning out of them, which affects how much they affect you. Remember that 3-step process to dealing with difficulty. First, have compassion for yourself. Second, take a step back. And third, decide what to do. This process will take you out of the chaos of the thoughts and give you time to let your mammalian brain override the unnecessary negative thoughts. You will be active and feel empowered to affect the outer context of your life with the steps you decide to take. You're not as exhausted and stressed out by the chaos on top of the chaos, and you could use that bandwidth to move forward in ways that you prefer, including taking risks and seizing opportunities. And another bonus is this positive mental attitude minimizes how anyone else holds power over you. That doesn't mean it'll eliminate injustices in the world, but it will, for example, take away bullies' power over your life. Plus, with the extra robustness, confidence, and faith that the positive mental attitude will bring, your relationships will be sweeter, easier, and closer. This benefits you and your friends and your family because this positivity is contagious and it will help you all immeasurably. Imagine for a moment the ripple effect of kindness and compassion. The benefits get bigger and bigger and bigger. Instead of conflict and people trying to grab power over each other, folks will want to take care of each other. And with the invigoration that you'll feel since you'll no longer be bogged down under the weight of the negativity, you can join like-minded people and form groups that advocate for justice in your community. This is how your inner landscape changes the landscape of the world. I'm going to leave you there for this episode, but before closing, I want to remind you that I'm live every Monday at 11 a.m. Eastern on YouTube and Facebook, and you can catch me on TikTok at Dr. Jodi, DoctorJodi. Also, come on over to the blog post for this episode where I have extra videos and resources to help you integrate this section of the book. The link, as always, is in the show notes. In this episode, you learned the benefits of a positive mental attitude. You learned how making meaning can take a negative turn and how to turn it back. And finally, you learned about how your attitude and perspective could transform not only your life, but change the world. I appreciate your subscribing, commenting, and leaving me 5 stars on Apple Podcasts. The next episode will cover Chapter 4, Section 6, Embrace Hope. There's a trigger warning for that episode because in this section, I discuss suicide and self-harm. My intention is to help you feel better and give you hope, but I want to make sure you're taking care of yourself with this material. Read or listen to that, and I'll see you there.